Okay guys, so as promised, here's stories of my arrests and shit. Alright, the first time I ever got arrested, I was like 15, maybe 13, so somewhere between 13 and 15. That, fuck, in that age range, And me and my buddy were out walking around, we snuck out that night and shit, and we decided we were gonna get in some cars. So we ended up breaking into a couple cars, not really breaking the windows and shit. What me and my boys normally do, we walk around, cars unlocked, get in it. Well, we found this like three unlocked cars in the street, and we got into two of them, and got like some GPSs, or I think a laptop that night, and like a couple cell phones, and like maybe an iPod or two. And while we were in the third car, I guess somebody would came outside to smoke a cigarette, and they look over and there's car lights on and see some people in there rooting around. They go, "Hey, there's my car. What the fuck are you boys doing?" We hear that. We fucking like, shit. Slam the door, right? Take off running. Dude. We run like maybe like 6 blocks. And then finally we stop, realize he isn't chasing us. And my buddy, he's like, "Nah, dude, we didn't have a good enough night. Let's keep going." So I'm like, "I'm done, but if you want, you can keep going." He's like, "Are you gonna stay out here with me and watch me back?" I was like, "Yeah, dude, you know I got my boy." So he hops in this other car and up the street. I'm looking around and everything. Up the street, I see this car come by about two streets, two alleyways down, and I noticed it was a cop car, and they had a spotlight searching around. So like, fuck, dude, I just seen the cops had a spotlight on. We gotta get out of here. So he's like, hurry us up, close the door. We just start walking down the street like nothing happened. They come up in front of us, right? About, I guess they must have seen us. They did a loop. They come up, and they're about, I'd say like half a block away from us, going down the alleyway. And Spotlight stops right on us. And we hear him yell, "Hey, stop right there." So we start booking it, right? We book it. And we cut through this yard, right? And there's some bushes there and a fence. So they go down the road that we were on, and Spotlight, they pass us. They go up the alley, and they come down the back alley, right? Because they must have thought we kept going. So they're still Spotlight searching and everything, searching up in the woods and shit. And, well, they come back up the front street, which we never left. We were hiding behind these bushes, right? It wasn't my idea to hide behind the bushes. I wanted to keep going because I felt like if we would have hit them woods, we would have been gone. Because we could have hit the woods, and I lived probably like 4 streets over, but the woods are like right in the center of the neighborhood. So if we would have went up in the woods and cut down and came back down, could have got to my house in like 4 minutes. And so we're chilling behind this bush waiting. Cops drive up. Spotlight stops right on this yard that we're in, behind these bushes. Cop starts walking towards us. We hear him walking, and at this point, I was like, "Shit, I'm smoking a cig." I'm like, "Dude, we're caught." He's like, "No, no, they might just pass us. Wait." And they stop probably about 5 feet from us, guns drawn, and they say, "Come out behind the bush now. We have the guns pointed at you right now. Come out." And I'm like, "Shit, dude, we're done." He's at this point, he's like, "Yeah, we might as well just give up because this ain't gonna turn out good." So I get out from behind the bush first. They put me on the ground, handcuffed me while I'm struggling. I'm like, "Get the fuck off me! Didn't do shit. I didn't do anything. Get the fuck off me!" So they cuff me and everything. They cuff him, and They ask him, so, and me, what are you guys doing out here? And we're like, oh, we're just out walking around. They're like, why'd you run when we told you to stop? And me, being the guy I am, I'm like, dude, I don't like police. I know every time somebody gets stopped, they end up getting arrested or some shit goes down. They're like, oh, so you guys don't mind if we check these bags and shit? And I'm like, fuck. So they start going through the bags, find all this shit, and they're like, oh, where'd you get all this shit? And I'm like, oh, it's not even my bag, dude. I found it like a couple streets over, and I just picked it up, you know. And they're like, why would you pick up someone else's bag if it's not yours? I was like, oh no, I just picked it up, man. And we ended up getting taken to the police station, put in holding cells and shit. They call his mom and my aunt come pick us up. His mom gets there before my aunt, and I'll never forget that she smacked the shit out of him. He was like, I don't even want to talk to you, talking to me, and I was like, man, fuck you. So, my aunt ended up showing up. She's pissed, right? Super pissed. But long story short, I ended up doing about, I'd say like 6 months in juvenile center for that shit. But yeah, sorry I'm wearing the same shit. I'm doing these videos all in one day. Um, Probably gonna do 2 more tonight before I go to bed. So yeah, deuces.